Howdy folks, and welcome back to Surprise Surprise World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. Doubtless by now most of you have seen the joint statement issued by the head honchos of both Wargaming EU and Wargaming North America. A statement that was instigated, if my sources at Wargaming are correct, by the Chief Executive Officer Victor Kisley himself. And that's fairly important because it means that a unified policy regarding copyright claims has now been issued, an apology has been issued, and nobody from any of the various different regional offices can go around contradicting and undermining it. And that's great news, and I'm sure Wargaming are going to learn from this, and they're never going to screw the pooch quite as badly as this again in the future. But what it doesn't address are the underlying concerns that led to this whole public relations disaster in the first place. The whole issue of power creep, particularly at or around Tier 8, with new premium tanks being introduced that are clearly superior to the non-premium counterparts that also exist within the same matchmaking spread. Tanks like the Chrysler K Grand Finals that have underwhelming guns that encourage the use of premium ammunition if you've bought the premium tank, but have such strong armour that they also encourage the use of premium ammunition if you're trying to shoot at the tank. Now, I understand that the recent statement made by Wargaming was a damage limitation exercise in response to the whole PR disaster that they've suffered over the weekend, and I didn't expect it to contain any reference to the issue of power creep and premium ammunition. However, I have been informed that it's possible Wargaming are going to be issuing some kind of statement about this very factor at the Wargaming League Grand Finals, and it's also very encouraging to see that World of Tanks Blitz has just announced that premium ammunition in World of Tanks Blitz is going to start doing 15% less damage. So it could be that they're testing the waters with World of Tanks Blitz to see how well it's likely to translate into World of Tanks Console and World of Tanks PC. So, bearing all this in mind, what does that mean for you guys who come to my channel to watch World of Tanks content? Well, I've got good news, and I've got we're going to wait and see news. The good news is I no longer feel quite as morally obliged to start scaling back quite as drastically as I had planned to on the World of Tanks content. I do still plan to diversify the video content more, but with this statement made by Wargaming and the direction that it looks the game might be going in, I think it's only fair to give Wargaming the benefit of the doubt for now, and see what happens. And so, bearing that in mind, welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. I'll tell you what, it's nice to have put all of that drama behind me. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, I am still going to Tankfest. I'm just not going to Tankfest as a community contributor or a guest of Wargaming. The Tank Museum, still entirely happy to have me along. I will be there Saturday and Sunday. Not quite sure how I'm going to organise a meet and greet, but a meet and greet will definitely be organised. Today's video is all about team play. Take a look at the Skoda T40 there. Isn't that nice, helping the two Dickermaxes move into position right at the start of the match? What a team player that Skoda T40 is. More on him later. For now, it's all about My Little Pony, that is his name, I'm not making this up, in the Type 64, who's making a brave but ultimately futile attempt to bypass the killing ground over there to the right and sneak up into his favourite sniping position. Now that of course has cost him some time, and he's going to have to cross the killing ground at the top of this ridge anyway. But he's managed to get away with it. Nobody in a position to snipe him as he gets up here, which is where he wanted to be in the first place. So why is this such a strong spot to be in? Well, it isn't unless you know how to use it properly. But you can see all the way across the hill in the middle of the map, you can see down here in the valley next to it, and spot anybody who's attempting to outflank the heavy tank brawling area that My Little Pony bypassed on the way up here. There is concealment here as well, but it's not the kind of concealment you can really fire through if anybody has a line of sight to you, because you will be spotted once you start shooting through these bushes. Luckily, that Churchill was as blind as a bat and didn't actually register his shots. The hill in the centre of the map is being contested by an AMX-12T who took a ferocious spanking when he went up there and has fallen back, and a friendly T-34-85. They're the only two friendly tanks contesting the hill, and as you can see by looking at the map, there is an awful lot of opposition over there. I mean, just look at the map, and you can see a huge blob of purple icons. Lots and lots and lots of enemy tanks. Bear that in mind for later. Right now, My Little Pony knows that that KV-2's just fired, and he's going to farm some damage on him when the second KV-2 appears, and My Little Pony gets lucky. That shot from the second KV-2 actually hit his gun barrel. It knocked his gun out. He used the repair kit to repair the gun, but the splash damage shaved off a fair old chunk of his health and took his tracks off. And that's when player 3 enters the battle in the shape of this A43 with what looks like the 57mm gun. Now remember, this video is all about the team play. My Little Pony's putting some shots into the A43, and it's at this point where friendly artillery says, "Oh, I've got your back," shaves off a third of his health, stuns him, and fails to kill the A43. That privilege goes to the heavy tank number 6, who came around the corner behind the OI and had the situation well in hand. So, thanks Artie. With the A43 taken care of, he finishes off that pesky little T-37. And then starts putting some shots into the KV-85. T-34-85 over there was spotting him, but has fallen back. So, My Little Pony moves up, spots the target himself, moves back until he's once again so far away from the bushes that he will not be spotted when he fires through them. Of course, that means he's no longer spotting targets either, so he moves up again to reacquire the targets, and this is where the T-34-85 basically loses his shit in chat. I refer you once again to my previous comment. We could all quite clearly see that he was going to get his ass handed to him if he went up there alone. And yet he still went up there alone. Now, the fact that he was the only tank on his team to go up there is the team's fault. The fact that he went up there anyway isn't anybody's fault other than his own. Meanwhile, My Little Pony's got some flanking shots on that Churchill. He's attempting to immobilise him, but, well, with a 76mm gun it does take a couple of shots to knock a Churchill's tracks off. The Churchill makes it back into cover. And there are enemy tanks closing in from all different directions. There's an enemy T-34. He does manage to get one shot into him before being spotted. Somebody saw him when he fired through the bush. That means he can probably expect some fire to be coming in from the top of the hill. That Churchill's probably a little pissed off with him. Is that guy still there? Let's find out. Yes, he was. Kill number 2. Oh, bugger. Right, heavy tank number 6 has just gone down, which means that the OI over there has just fired his gun. He's been tracked. The KV-2 cannot fire through him. And My Little Pony is taking an awful risk here because that guy could have reloaded at any second, but it was worth taking the risk. He's managed to kill the OI, and he didn't get hit by the KV-2 while he was doing it. However, he's now the last friendly tank left alive up here, and that KV-2 could be coming up to finish him off. Takes a hit from the Rudy over in the direction of his base, moves forward, gets some solid ground between himself and the Rudy, stops to have a look, and there's a KV-85. Now, bearing in mind that he is going to get spotted if he fires through this bush, and that KV-2 could be coming up the hill behind him any second now. He's going to have to take a risk. Yep, dodged a shot. Firing on the move at the KV-85, but the Churchill's at the top of the hill. He should be under the line of fire of the Rudy over there in the base. He's being engaged by the Skoda T40 on the team, and he manages to break contact, disengage, and get the hell out of there without getting hit by either the Churchill, the KV-85, the Rudy, or the KV-2. And now he's got this Churchill exactly where he wants him. Now the Churchill, providing he hits him, can penetrate him easily with his 75mm gun, but he's managed to blow the Churchill's tracks off and immobilise him, and he's got enough health and he figures it's worth taking the hit in order to finish the Churchill off and claim kill number 4. Meanwhile, that T40 is now on his second kill after successfully defending the base. Long range shot and yet another Churchill manages to immobilise him, making him a sitting duck for the Skoda T40 and giving him his third kill as well. And now that the top of the hill is no longer crawling with enemy tanks, My Little Pony can stay up here and exploit his view range advantage. Having a quick look. Nope. Nobody coming up from that side. Plenty of enemy tanks over there spotted. KV-85, KV-2. Let's start causing some trouble. KV-85 first. And his first shot sets the guy on fire. He has no fire extinguisher, or he doesn't want to use it. Second shot goes in. KV-85 burns to death. Kill number 5. One more for a Top Gun. Nope, T-40 claims his 4th kill on the KV-2, but My Little Pony can still get a Top Gun. There are 2 enemy tanks left. All he has to do is find them, and, well, He's in a Type 64, so it shouldn't be too difficult. He's going to have to be careful, of course. I mean, an artillery shotgun from the M44 or a direct hit from the Nashorn will kill him. He only has 113 health remaining, but he's a small target and he's quick. So, well, he's driving through the cap circle anyway. They know where he is, so it's not like he has to worry too much about knocking buildings over. He's already advertised his presence, and there's the Nashorn. Now, the Nashorn's already been spotted and hit, and spotted Nashorns tend to have a very short life expectancy, so it's highly unlikely that My Little Pony's going to be able to get over there in time, and he doesn't. The T-40 gets the kill. Now, that means that both My Little Pony and the T-40 both have 5 kills to their name. So that means the Top Gun is up for grabs. It's all a question of who bags that M44 first, and My Little Pony is in a much better position than the T-40 to do that. Now, at this point, I've switched to the external third-person camera, so you can see exactly what happens next. That was a shot from the T-40, and there was no M44 over there for it to be shooting at, so what's that guy playing at? Does he really want a Top Gun so badly that he's going to team kill My Little Pony to prevent him from getting it? Yep. Yes, he is. Now, that is a pretty scumbag move, but he then makes it worse by saying thank you in chat, thanking My Little Pony in advance for the Top Gun he's about to earn after killing him. The T-3485 chimes in with his opinion, and for once in this match I'm actually inclined to agree with him. There's now nothing stopping this Skoda T-40 from getting the Top Gun after team killing My Little Pony. Nothing, that is, except for the M44. Go artillery. Everybody else seemed to find it quite amusing too. I'll bet the Skoda T-40 didn't, however. And, well, tough shit. If you can't take it, you shouldn't start it. There was also, by the way, not just a Top Gun, but a potential Faden's medal there. For My Little Pony, you might have noticed that once the Nashorn went down, he started firing off the remaining ammunition in his tank. He was trying to ensure that he would only have enough shots left to kill the M44 and no more. The Skoda T-40, of course, had other ideas. Karma is a real bitch, isn't it? The T-40 player, of course, wasn't even remotely apologetic for his actions. In fact, well, it's not often I censor the things that you see people saying in chat during random battles, but his response in this case was, it's not something that even I'm prepared to show on YouTube. So I'm just going to fast forward to the end of the battle, where absolutely nobody will be surprised to learn that rather than face the OI who was closing in on him, the M44 elected to drown himself, because random battles. I suspect it's not a huge consolation to My Little Pony, but it did at least get Ace Tanker and High Caliber out of that game, and also the satisfaction of seeing Karma give the guy in the T-40 the bitch slapping that he so royally deserved. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.